Thank you for tuning into the latest episode of the SplashCast, your go-to podcast for news and discussion in the world of sports.
Ladies and gentlemen, children of all ages, we are back. We are back. This is episode 181 of the SplashCast. I am your boy Norwood.
I'm going to do my intro. We ain't did that in a couple episodes. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to episode 181 of the SplashCast Monday Night Raw. I'm your co-host, Reggie.
I'm your co-host, Norwood. Our powers combined. We are your HBCU homeboys. How we doing?
Man, welcome I'm cool, back. Bro. I'm cool. Not panicking at all. Expecting to be let down again.
Why you say that?
Because you don't see my uniform.
We taking it a day at a time.
That normally means you ain't got nothing. What is it? What's the Spades reference? Study long, study wrong. Bro, we studied a long time while everybody else dropping them spades out there. We up here like, well, I'm going to hold on to this. I'm going to try to make this jack walk. No.
Hey, and sometimes that jack might walk under the right.
I'm holding out hope for one big transaction, but I doubt it'll happen. So we'll see. But y'all know what it is when it comes to Monday Night Raw, man. We do HBCU news around the culture. Hoops now goes first, and then basketball then football because it is basketball season. We got a few things we're going to talk about today.
Talking about people who have the winning going, Eddie George has been hired as the new head football coach of Bowling Green. He spent the last 4 years at Tennessee State, taking them to didn't they go to the CAA championship?
Tennessee State,
CAA.
They went to the Ohio Valley.
They
won their first Ohio Valley Conference regular season title since 1998.
Yes, congratulations again to Eddie George. This is a guy who we've talked about on the podcast umpteen million times of doing it well. Being an advocate for HBCUs. He did, I don't ask for anything more than 4 or 5 years, just an opportunity to get your whole recruiting class. We are praying for Tennessee State in there, as they continue to kind of fight with the state about land grant and trying to keep themselves fiscally sound. But once again, congratulations to Eddie George, and we will continue to follow him. I will say one of the most impressive things, and I know it's not a guy who I champion the majority of the time, but from my understanding is the athletic director had a direct conversation with Urban Meyer. Urban Meyer basically put Eddie George on this job. He said, you don't even need to talk to anybody else. You need to talk to Eddie George. He said, don't even look at his resume. Talk to him as a man. And the athletic director said, basically, after I talked to him as a man, there was not even another person I was interested in talking to.
Yeah, I was going to bring that up, but I that was a good point. I want to address a few of us. I like talking to us because we tend to be on both sides of the fence here. And y'all try to call us out and make us like hypocrites and stuff. Go back to Eddie. Okay. There's a difference between the way Eddie George took this job and leaving an HBCU and others leaving an HBCU. Eddie George worked on land grants. Eddie George publicly advocated for the school. Eddie George did everything correctly. Eddie George worked with the administration in order to move up. Eddie George laid out a plan for his career. He laid out a plan for the school. He laid out a plan for the program. And he went on behalf of the school and spoke in front of state government and Department of Education. He did everything correctly in order to move up, and then was gracious in the fact that he moved up. The fact that your current employer went to another employer and said, hey, I got this guy right here. He's the bee's knees. He's exactly what you need in order to build this up. And he went to Ohio State. He's an Ohio guy. This is what you need. This is the next stepping stone for him. And it could be mutually beneficial. When you have that vote of confidence. First off, as you said, shout out to the president and athletic director of Tennessee State. If I were a coach and I was trying to build something up, I'm definitely going to Tennessee State and looking to go there. You did everything the right way. So there's a fundamental difference between trashing somebody when you leave versus leaving with dignity and respect. And Eddie George is in the embodiment of dignity and respect. So that's all I really wanted to say. It's not really much more I can say. Congratulations to him. I fully expect him to be at Ohio State in the next 5 to 10 years or somewhere up there. He's not going to be at Bowling. He's going to be at Bowling Green in another 5 years. And then he's going to be right back up there somewhere else. He's too good of a coach.
I do, man. And the thing about him is he does with grace and class. That's the part. Is it's not enough of that. Eddie George not in no BS. He's not. I got to step on somebody to uplift myself, and he does a great job of uplifting men. Like,
ain't riding no motorcycles with Michigan Steers. Ain't doing no crazy nothing.
Bobby
He out there
Petrino
with his
back.
Raising his. He out there with his black wife at a HBCU, building up black folks.
Talented black wife too. Put some put some respect on her name too, because she talented. Now this and then finally, this is something that I was able to, not necessarily this event, but the entire rodeo. We're gonna back y'all down with the sound a little bit here. But for the people who are listening, this is the Texas Southern and Prairie View Band playing together during Black Appreciation Weekend. And I think this is the first time the two bands have performed together. And if I remember correctly, this is during the Bun B concert. This was epic. It was great to see, especially for the two HBCUs in the city to be together at such a massive concert. Great job from both bands.
Yeah. Rivalries run deep. This is like Southern Grambling performing together. This is like Howard Hampton performing together, FAMU, Bethune-Cookman. So the fact that they perform together, shout out to Bun B. He's been putting on for the state of Texas for forever. To be able to get them together and show a little unity is what we need right now. So I'm happy for it.
No, he when I tell you he killed the whole weekend, T.I. pop out, Ludacris pop out, everything happened. You can't ask for a better orchestrated, put together. And that's all, like, it's the rodeo, and the rodeo is Texas. For that one night, those couple of days, it's Houston. So that is extremely important to the people to see different representation. And from what I saw, that night was packed. With that said, we are going to take a short break. We're going to come back and hit basketball. Me and Reggie going to be very frank with y'all. Football has just won the day,
usurped,
week.
As they say.
Well played. Well played. So we're gonna have basketball conversation, but football is where it's at. I ain't gonna lie to y'all. I'm not gonna pump fake y'all. Give us a few seconds, and we shall be right back. Reggie, you come back with a beverage or no?
Oh, I got his hard liquor. I ain't got no beer, so no.
Fair enough. Get whatever vices you need, and we will be back here momentarily.
We'll be right back. Hey, SplashCast listeners, are you ready to dive into some exciting opportunities with us? The SplashCast is now open for brand partnerships, advertisements, and sponsorships. We want your business to make a splash with our audience. Picture your brand reaching all of our loyal and passionate listeners who love our weekly content. From HBCU news around the culture to our splashes of the week, we cover it all. If you're looking for a dynamic platform to showcase your products or services, look no further. Reach out to us at diveteammedia@gmail.com. That's diveteammedia@gmail.com. Or visit our website at www.thesplashcast.com for more details.
We are back. We are back. We are back right in time to talk a little bit of football before we get out of here tonight. Once again, thank you guys for rocking with us. I guess this is the half and half show. We did our absolute best last night, and then we came back today and ran it on back. Always remember, like, follow, subscribe, tell somebody else about the podcast. Thank you guys for supporting us. Reggie back with the vibe. No, go ahead, drink that Ecto Cooler. I know how I see when I see it. I know how I see when I see it.
So I lied. I decided to partake. Dang. Chase Young got $51 million. Wow.
From who?
The Saints.
Cool. He ain't worth that. But we'll talk about that when we get to that.
That's good, Lord. See, that's why I ain't want to do it.
And you pump faked me. I would have. You know what? That's all right. Football is when we need it anyway.
Yeah, I'm getting ready because I'm being real cordial here because football. I'm gonna lose my shit a little bit. Bit. What's up, y'all? I like StreamYard. Shout out to StreamYard. Listen, if you want some promo, if you want us to be some spokespersons and be able to speak on the greatness that this is right now compared to what we were using before, we ain't gonna trash nobody else.
Oh, yes, we are. Whoa. You clear. Oh, hold on. Well, go ahead. You know what? Give it to you first. Go ahead. Say what you got.
No. Shout out to StreamYard. Look, if y'all want to give us a sponsorship, we are willing to talk about the difficulties that we had using other platforms and the simplicity that it is for StreamYard. Shout out to my partner. Shout out to my podcast partner as well as my wife for both suggesting StreamYard. My podcast partner went with it. My wife has said it a long time ago. This is fantastic. I just wanted to say good job.
With that being said, we're going to hop into hoops here. It's going to be quick-ish. We still got some things to talk about. First thing up, we're going to run to the ladies. And JuJu Watkins overtakes Caitlin Clark as the NCAA's all-time leading scorer for points in women's basketball in the first 2 seasons. We're waiting to see if JuJu is actually going to play all of the seasons, but to me, this is the Patrick Mahomes Tom Brady Award, where, all right, this is the Lifetime Achievement Award. This is the person who has all of the 4-year awards, but at this point, she's further along in her, I would say, mile, and of course, 4 laps around the track. At the half point, she's ahead of Caitlin Clark. It will be up to her if she stays in college and tries to break every record, or if she comes to WNBA and shows up early. It's a feat for sure, and it's up to her to see what she does next. What do you think about this, Reggie?
So, I don't want to be viewed as a hater, but I'm sure I will be, and I don't care. This one of them made up records. Shout out to JuJu. JuJu is going to be the number 1 pick whenever she decides to come. If it's at next year's draft, year after, whatever. But to be the NCAA's all-time leading scorer in points in women's basketball in first 2 seasons is one of them made up records. That's the fastest person to get to 2,000 yards and I don't care. Respectfully, I don't care. Now, if you go on to break the record, cool. We can keep track of it, right? We can keep track of it, but this ain't no all-time leading scorer. You're not the all-time leading scorer of nothing, right? You're really good. You scored a lot of points in 2 years, but you're not the all-time leading scorer of nothing. So I love the fact that we're celebrating women's basketball. I love the fact that we're celebrating her progress. This is progress. We're celebrating her progress. But let's let her get to the point where she decides if I'm going to stay and break the records, if I'm going to go. NIL has changed a lot of things. So let's get to the point where we get to the actual record and celebrate the breaking of the record, then celebrate the progress. To me, to
me, it's like the Kevin Durant, Carmelo Anthony Awards or the records or whatever you want to call them when they go. They're not going to be here for 4 years. They're not. The days of trying to break the all-time scoring record in college, that's going to be done by a guy who's probably going to be a coach.
Selling insurance.
If you breaking that record, you're playing for 4 years, bro. And if you playing for 4 years, you probably not playing the NBA at all. So congratulations for whatever, but I think that's just what it is. And next up, we have Cara Lawson. She is the third Black coach to win the ACC title, and she is the head coach of the women's Duke Blue Devils. Congratulations. She has been on a warpath as far as coaching. She's done a lot for this team, and to win this championship just shows her hard work and dedication. Congratulations.
Yeah, she joins Kenny Brooks and Niall Ivey. Of course, Jaden Ivey's mother, who coaches at Notre Dame. Cara Lawson. We're gonna age ourselves, but I remember when she played in the WNBA and college basketball. She was really, really good back in the day. Shout out to her. Shout out to Duke. I can't believe. I mean, she had to upset Notre Dame. Notre Dame,
right?
They got like the top 2 players in the nation in the backcourt. So it's going to be a fun tournament. I watched most of the tournament. They were all good. We talked about Paige Buchers.
That's where they play real basketball in quarters. So you know how I feel about it. So
yep.
Wish the boys would be nearly this interesting.
Well, they're petitioning for it now, but Cooper Flagg, we'll get to it. Well, we won't actually because we're going to go to NBA. But the Cooper Flagg is kind of changing the way that they're viewing this.
Yeah, I think so. And Lil Birdie said he might want to stay in college, and I look at the
I would too. I'm not going to Washington.
I'm not going to Washington. No, nothing at the bottom is. But the thing is, they're gonna be at the bottom again. They're at the bottom this year, and they got Saw and still at the bottom.
And the thing is, he's got to declare. Well, since we off of this, shout out to Cara Lawson. The thing is, he's got to declare before the lottery. If I'm not mistaken, the lottery is in April. He's got to declare before then, right?
I don't like that. I would rather see the lottery first.
Yeah, let me make sure. Let me see if Wemby gonna be number 1. San Antonio gonna be number 1. I'm there. I'm declaring.
Or Utah. I think he would be perfect in Utah.
You see your boy Filipowski. Double.
Quietly. And I've been telling y'all this. Utah
put number 1. Here we go.
He been Danny Ainge has put together a team, and now he's taking the team on purpose. That's the reason Colin Sexton, John Collins, and what's up with the Braves, Jordan Clarkson. That's the reason they don't play. They always be like, oh, back injury, rest. No, he's taking out. Hey, let's see what the rest of these guys look like, and then we'll get there. Speaking of getting
demographic is what the Braves said. The demographic. They don't fit our demographic.
And I mean, he fits the demographic perfectly. And if you could put Walker Kessler, I still think John Collins, Cooper Flagg, Keontae George, and Isaiah Collier. Oh, man, because Isaiah Collier been playing lights out.
Yep.
Quiet.
We're going to get to the Bronny conversation. I can't wait to get there.
Yes.
What's your thoughts on Stephen A. Smith and LeBron?
So first, Stephen A. Smith has spoken about LeBron and Bronny multiple times on the show. I think that the thing that kind of set LeBron off was him talking about as a father, like kind of getting Bronny out of the situation that he ultimately put him in. I think that the conversation, Bronny is a man, and we keep talking around him like he's a kid. I don't like that for him. And I don't like this. Like, it kind of puts LeBron in a situation. I've been jokingly calling him LeCaren for the way that he handled the situation with Stephen A. Smith. And I thought this was post-game. He went and talked to Stephen A. Smith mid-game. That is egregious. That is beyond egregious. Not to mention, you guys have been in the same stadium for probably 6 or 7 hours. As a person who's worked with sports teams, you don't just show up and go right on the court. They've been there in the same place all day. If you wanted to have this discussion discreetly between two men, like I think you should have had it, you could have had it over the phone, Anybody, if LeBron calls anybody at ESPN and says, "Hey, I need Stephen A. Smith's number," they're going to give it to him. Period. Or you could have had it in any of those places in the locker room or discreetly. To have this conversation mid-game is egregious. I don't really know what to say.
All right, let me jump in. If you don't know what to say, I'll jump in real quick, and then I'll pass it back to you. As a father, I understand you being overprotective of your children. No matter what is said or done, when it comes to your children, you're irrational. There is no matter the age. And from talking with my dad and understanding how his father was, age don't matter. You could be 28 or you could be 8. If I feel that you're disrespecting my child or disrespecting me as a man, as a father, I'm going to address it. I agree with you that he should not have done it in the third quarter. With that being said, LeBron, you put Bronny in this situation. For all of y'all that's doing these dumbass think pieces about saying that about LeBron James Jr. or Bronny, I stand on it that LeBron James Jr. should have gone back to college. He should not have been drafted. He was drafted at the 55th pick. Y'all can bring up all the stats of the 50th pick and the 48th pick and the 23rd pick of the draft and say, what are they averaging? They're only averaging point. That's not the point. What were they averaging in college? Nobody ever talk about that. You know what the 50th pick was averaging in college? 20 and 13. You know what Bronny was averaging in college? This is not to shade. He was averaging 4 points, 2 rebounds,
averaging
2
the bench. Because the player who is in front of him is Isaiah Collier, who just won Rookie of the Month for the Western Conference.
So, and even we ain't even got to talk about depth. The man had a life-threatening event. I understand that it's like, okay, he had a life-threatening event. This puts everything in perspective. I want him to go after his dreams as soon as possible because we don't know how life. But you're also setting him up to look at it the same way that people looked at Lonzo Ball. The same way that Patrick Beverly looked at Lonzo Ball. If you multiply that by 100, that's the way a lot of other people look at Bronny. Because they feel like because he's LeBron James Jr., he got that call. And hold
on. I actually like the Lonzo Ball, LeVar Ball. LeVar kind of set him up to get whooped. Like, hey, that's my son. Go ahead, get on out there. And Lonzo and LaMelo, I think, are better for it. LeVar didn't really protect them. LeVar kind of got them jumped. Whoever was going against Lonzo, LeVar had something to say. And I think they're better for it because they have the opportunity to go through the trials and tribulations where Bronny has been the boy in the bubble and he not enough time in the G League. So you're not really getting the reps. And it's cool to be up there with the varsity, but we all know NBA don't do a ton of practicing. So what are you doing?
But LeVar Ball stood on it, though. He stood on one side of the fence. He said LaMelo is the best one of the three. He's going to be one of the best point guards in the league. He said Lonzo is one of the better point guards, is the best distributor in the draft, and will be one of the best point guards in the league day one. LeBron said Bronny, after his life-threatening ordeal where he doesn't start at USC, said he's better than than half of the league.
Half of you guys.
Today. Do you know how disrespectful it is if I grinded my ass off to get here and you tell me that your son is better than you, better than me? Yeah, I'm gonna whoop his ass, and don't come try to save him. Now,
Bronny ain't better than Sharif Cooper. Let's be very clear about it.
I do think that Bronny does benefit from working out with the Lakers team and coming up there sometimes. But to give him, for him to get all of the recognition, you got to understand, because he's LeBron James Jr.'s son, because you put him on the pedestal. I saw ESPN highlight the other day on their social media. It was pinned. It was Bronny getting a block. That was the pinned highlight. Bronny got a block.
Congrats.
Why do we even care? No shade, but we shouldn't care. We shouldn't know nothing about Bronny. We should know that Bronny is in the G League. When I'm happy to see Bronny when they say he was in the G League, he had 37 points, 8 assists, 3 blocks, 2 steals. That's what I want to see.
And you know
Jalen
what?
Johnson. I thought he was about to go. Go ahead. That's why I threw it to you.
We had God, that's crazy. Like I'm stop. Yeah, so Jalen Johnson could not make it on the court for whatever reason in Atlanta. He said, "You know what? If y'all not gonna play me, send me to the G League and at least let me get my reps." And he went to the G League and tortured everybody until, I mean, in the long run,
DeJounte Murray said, "Hey, you need to bring this dude back up here."
And if Bronny was doing that night in and night out, if Bronny was G League All-Star, then there's a conversation to be had. But and we're a great team to tell you, they're gonna send you to the G League. And if you're dominant in the G League, then yeah, call him up, put him on the varsity. It's that simple. But you need to be down there. You need to be a JV killer. You need to make it where it's undeniable. And for me, Bronny hasn't done that. So LeBron,
even look at their depth chart. We just went over. They got 5 players hurt. 5, 4, 3 of them are starters.
No, they don't.
You having Bronny on the team is a waste of a play. You're not playing him. That's a waste of a spot.
Which is a bigger issue. Is you got the guy like what's his name who we played against tonight, Lonnie Walker, who I said that everybody in the NBA should have been picked up. He's a better basketball player than Bronny. And y'all are trying to win. It's important for you to win, especially with everything that's developed for you guys. Having Bronny just taking up a spot, it's not really doing anybody any good, honestly. But the thing that I think that Bronny is going to eventually have to do is he's going to step up for himself.
Yeah. Say some shit.
The other part about it is everybody's talking around you. And you're a man now. And that's the part that I don't
and that's the thing. I don't think he is. And no shade. This is not. See, and the thing about this conversation is everything can be taken as shade, but it's not. Bronny went from big fish in a small pond. Actually, he wasn't. A regular sized fish and a regular size in a big pond.
No, Sierra Canyon. Small fish, big pond. All
of Sierra Canyon. All of them was good. But then you get to USC. He never had a chance. He's never had a chance to grow up. He went to USC and his heart almost stopped. Or his heart did stop. So then his whole life, think about anybody that's been, your life stops. Your life totally stops. Maturity stops. Growing as a basketball player stops. Growing as a man stops. Growing as a person stops. School stops. Businesses stop. Social media stops because I have to live. So then you take that 7 months away or however long he was gone, and then you throw him into the NBA and you're telling him be a man. I didn't even learn how to be a college basketball player. So right. Why are we saying that, hey, I understand that he needs to step up and be a man, but you also got to put him in the situation to succeed. And I do think that LeBron was a little selfish because it is a feat that nobody had. And if you wanted to do that, that's cool. Play with your son on the court of the same team. But you also need to be and this is what I think Stephen A. Smith was saying to bring it all back was, as a father, you are supposed to put your son's needs and your son's well-being ahead of yourself or your child.
Right.
So if you're going to put your child's well-being, there's no way as a father, if you're looking at it as a father, that bringing Bronny up to the LA Lakers and putting him in those situations when he's not developed and not ready enough to be there and not sending him to the G League to develop is doing him a disservice. That's what I took from what Stephen A. Smith said. Now, there's been other stuff that I didn't see the stuff. Now, if he says something disrespectful, I ain't got no problem with it.
But the other part is everybody's like, well, what about the other draft picks? The other part is that we're not taking into consideration is this is the LA Lakers. Everybody there is in the spotlight. You don't get to hide anybody in Los Angeles.
None.
Ricochet don't have the same stresses that Bronny has. Ricochet's just been a competent basketball player, but there's just not the same level of spotlight. So when you go to the Lakers and want your kid to be hidden, you can't have both. You got to pick a side. I think that Bron should have handled this better.
I wouldn't have confronted Stephen A. If you're a man, I think a lot of stuff that LeBron has done in the last 2 years is ego driven. I'm not gonna say him confronting Stephen A. Smith was fully ego driven, but I think that was part of it. To me.
Yeah. I also will say that I think that he probably keeps Bronny in USC if he knows that Luka will materialize. No. I think that I think that Bron plays a little bit longer with Luka being there now. I think that this is a little bit of a reset as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, Bryce, you up next?
Yeah, Bryce, Luka might have gave you a chance to be able to play with your dad, but I think your brother gonna ruin it for everybody. And Bryce gonna be like, nah, dog, I'm kind of. And we'll be able to see in a couple years about the kind of grouping up players grouping up versus the Elijah Arenas. Just go to the school where you're from and learning how to be a superstar because you're not playing with a bunch of superstars. I think that Gilbert has equipped him to be something different than the rest of these guys. Let's see what Sneaky got to say here. I like that it was in public. Stephen A. Smith would have loved to have Bron call him privately and give him content. I think that it put
content is content.
Yeah,
he had 2 days to talk about it on 3 different shows.
And you gave him content, and you gave him content because you kind of cut his ass mid-game where everybody's already got their camera on you anyway.
Nick, no, back it up. You cut his ass mid-game and you know he can't say nothing back to you.
Right.
You know, there's no way that Stephen A. Smith could really say what he wanted to say. If he wanted to say something different, there's no way in that moment in time that he could say something. That's like Shannon Sharp and Dylan Brooks. Brooks and T. Moran, all of them. And Shannon Sharp got escorted out the game and he played it out. He played it right and talked about it the next day. But don't address me when you know I'm
Shannon was ready to get with him though.
Shannon,
I think that he picked the person who he knew was going to be gracious about it. I don't think that you walk up on Steven Jackson like that.
Nope.
Nope. And I know that Steven Jackson has an immense amount of respect for LeBron. Dog, you not gonna do that to Stack and think that it's gonna go that way.
Or Matt Barnes,
Maxwell,
or Vernon, or Melo.
Right.
Although y'all best friends, but or Melo or Draymond. Like you ain't really about to do all of that to nobody.
Yeah. And that's
Kendrick
my thing is and you're not finna just be cussing. Because as much as I can't touch you, you can't touch me neither. Boy, I'm like a wild out, boy. Who are you? Man, if you don't get over there and play this game talking to me, LeBron.
See, disrespect begets disrespect. Once you disrespect me, I'm gonna be like, man, go back to the huddle. I'd have been like this. Go.
Right.
You got to go. You can sit there all you want to. You got to go back to the huddle. You got to go.
Troll. Put him in the game then. Since you think he's so good, put him in. You the coach anyway. Ain't that your podcast boy over there coaching the team anyway? Put him in the game. Since you want to talk, let's see. You say better than half of these players. Well, let's see. I bet you won't put him in the game. But you can't. LeBron put him in a very bad situation. I don't like that.
Shout out to Worthy.
Also, in back and forth news, Charles Barkley took a shot at Kendrick Perkins and ESPN. And
all of ESPN, really.
Chuck, to kind of summarize what Chuck was saying was everybody's kind of riding high on this Lakers at number 2 in their turnaround, which has been miraculous. But what Chuck was saying is that the Cleveland Cavaliers and the OKC Thunder have been playing elite all season and have not gotten this love.
And they're better built.
Yes. As far as team-wise, individual success, they're just not getting the same love. And y'all to hop on this train now is egregious. And I think that Chuck is right. If you see, these teams have been head and shoulders better than everybody in the NBA the whole season. From day one till now.
But the Lakers didn't have Luka either.
You're right. but don't be Johnny come lately either. If I've been
how Luka been there for 30 days,
less than that.
Less than that. So how's that Johnny come lately? Pause necessary.
Because everything before that, they was already on the Lakers, even when it wasn't looking like that. I mean, we know what it really is. This is more of Chuck yelling at ESPN than Kendrick Perkins.
Yeah.
ESPN just does the same thing with the Lakers, and they do the same thing with the Cowboys. What Chuck is saying is stop doing that shit. And I agree. I get so tired of hearing. I get so tired of hearing about Cowboys.
Don't give a damn. I don't give a damn. Listen, business owner thought process right here. We worth $250 billion, whatever we thought. The Cowboys give us $50 billion worth of views every year. The Lakers give us another $50 billion worth of views. You know what OKC give us? $5 billion. Cool. Listen, what we going to talk about? We're going to talk about the Lakers and the Cowboys. You know why we're going to talk about the Lakers and the Cowboys? Because y'all talk about the Lakers and the Cowboys. That's why we talk about them.
And Chuck does the same thing that I've done forever about ESPN, especially when ESPN and Disney got together, and you don't have any originality. You don't have anything that is actually interesting. You cover the same thing with the same talking points every week, and you kind of cycle through your people. So, yes, are you the worldwide leader in sports? Yes, because you're on a lot of cable packages. Are you really putting out the best content for sports? Not no, hell no. And it's two sides to this. Do you want high integrity, interesting sports content? No, that's the reason you come to the SplashCast. I always remember like, follow, subscribe. Or you go to ESPN and watch the recycled. Yeah, you get the recycled junk that you've gotten from all of their shows all week from the same group of people. I understand Chuck's plight as a sports fan and not to be a casual. So I get it.
Well, we're gonna see because they're going to ESPN. So, but they'll probably be the highest rated show,
right?
Or second highest rated show.
Kendrick
ESPN.
Perkins responds back, "Hey, TNT, you might want to tell that senior citizen Charles Barkley that I'll be around when he see an idiot or a fool in person. Make sure he keep that same energy. He can come playing with me if he want. At the end of the day, I'm gonna address it like the numbers on his house, straight. Yada yada yada. Now, this is the thing." Kendrick Perkins,
bro, you 40.
And Chuck is 60
plus.
But also, now he is senior citizen now. Chuck has a history of putting hands and feet on people. The man threw that man out that window glass. They said, "Well, why you throw him out of the first floor?" Because I couldn't get him through the second.
I couldn't. Yeah, I wish I was on. Yeah. Do you have any regrets that I wasn't up higher? Like. Now, Kendrick, that's why I went like this. I ain't gonna trash talk my dad's line, brother. You 70. Like, what I'm gonna do? If I kick you gonna die.
That's your uncle.
Yeah, like, right. Come on, Kendrick. You could say, hey, you could say it to my face, and we could have a conversation, or you could take whatever you want to.
I would tussle with no old man.
You ain't about to tussle with because of Shaq. Now, what I will say is Shaq and Chuck against you is a problem, and we already know that Shaq and Chuck. They go back further. They go back generation. They mama friends.
None of y'all are actually fighting. Y'all old and your hips and knees don't work. Let's be real.
Come on, man.
You ain't in nobody's shape neither. But at the end of the day, y'all old. Y'all not going to actually do no tussle in the first place.
Yeah, man.
Listen to the message, man. Like at the end
this could all be smoke and mirrors. This could all be trick bag, and they could just be building this up so when they get on the same stage, we all gonna watch. Either way.
I mean, and we will.
I will.
Sure.
Mavs.
I mean, I think that's what we're looking for more than anything is something interesting. As we move to the Mavs, we'll talk about Jason Kidd and his struggles. He said, "I've never seen this where you can't take someone out to rest them because we had no one to put in." The Mavericks' whole team is hurt. And as much as I don't want to blame Nico Harrison, this was kind of written on the wall.
Boy, fuck you. Nico, this all your fault.
Anthony Davis is always hurt. Kyrie is old and has played a ton of minutes this year. And everybody else was hurt pre-trade. So
Pre-trade. They
knew
were
what you
hurt
doing.
before you shipped the second best player in the league out of your team.
Right. And you sent them to second in the Western Conference and basically sent your team to hell. And I think that this is Jason Kidd kind of sending the Magic Johnson. I ain't gonna be here. I'm getting on. And I think that it's easy and it's probably right to blame Nico. He did this. He clearly did this without consulting Jason Kidd. And Jason Kidd, like, I can't make this happen with what you left me with. No. So this is not my problem. Y'all hold it down. POP. But I'm out of here. And I ain't coming back.
And I'm making a phone call to Orlando. Because I'm telling you now, Orlando is probably going to get rid of their coach because they're going to see themselves as underachieving.
They ain't gonna fire him.
Shit.
He's turned that team around. Now, the person who needs to be fired is the GM. They knew they needed guard help, and not getting them guard help, that was tragic. And you could have done it.
Yeah, but if you get guard help, who's the best person to bring in to coach the guards out of the coaches that are available? It's Orlando. It's Jason Kidd.
I agree with that, but I also don't believe in switching coaches as soon as you get your team to some level set. And the example I will give to you is the Charlotte Hornets. When James Borrego had that team, like looking like a team for the first time since Alonzo Mourning. So
Grandmama.
Yeah. So having that team resemble a team for the first time in 20 years and then immediately getting rid of him. Shout out to Michael Jordan. I'm not a fan of that. You may not necessarily love the coach. Right. It went right over to NASCAR, won a championship. So no, I'm not at the point where I give him at least another year and I try to get him a legitimate scoring guard. So you can see.
Yeah, and if I'm Jason Kidd, I'm out of there though. They don't even.
Oh, deuces! Don't call me. I'll call you.
You got this on here. They don't have their first round. They don't control any of their first rounders for 4 of the next 5 years.
Correct.
I'm out of there. For what? You traded away Luka, Kyrie's old AD's
behind my back. Behind my back, like you didn't even say, "Hey, Jason,
it's gonna come out."
Hey,
he got paid under the table.
And this is the thing that goes with that is this is my career. You made a decision. You made a career-changing decision on my behalf without consulting me. And even if it did work, it was only a 3-year plan. You don't think the Kyrie gonna be playing to his mid-40s, do you? Anthony Davis, the Lakers had no plan. The Lakers were barbecue chicken. And then y'all gave them an answer. Yes. I'm going to remove you and I'm going to add you back. No, yeah, I'm here. I don't know what it is with you.
Yeah, you're there. I don't know. Whatever. Whenever it happens, it happens.
But yeah, for me, this was never thought out very well. So overall, Mavs just kind of in a terrible situation. Next up, the Cavs have already clinched a playoff berth. I mean, you're playing out of their mind. I don't know what else you want to say. At this point, they look like world beaters, and they're going to continue to kick ass. You still there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Anything with the Cavs?
DeAndre Hunter, the missing piece. They look like they're the favorite. I am interested to see what the Cavs versus the Celtics look like when Kristaps Porzingis is healthy. Although we may not know when he's going to be healthy because he's out with a phantom viral infection. That's what I said earlier. I said, "Woo, yeah, he's out with a phantom viral virus. Nobody knows what it is."
That is, I can't wish that everybody get that, but I would like to surely win some games. I surely would like to win some games.
Joker.
Next up, Joker continues to just do things that are unbelievable. And when I say unbelievable, I mean that he had a 30-point, 20 rebound, 20 assist game. I don't know how you do that. I don't know what everybody else was doing. Of course, it's against the Phoenix Suns, who need all types of help at every position, minus power forward and shooting guard. First of all, you got to be exhausted at the end of the game, just the sheer amount of work that you have to put in. Then on top of that, what was it? What was everybody else doing while Joker was doing that? Y'all just watch him do everything? Is that what's going on?
So 30, 20, and 20. Yes. Yes. The answer is yes. We're watching Joker do everything. Because there's at 30, at that point, once you get to a triple-double, he had a triple-double at halftime.
They're going to have to make some decisions too, because he's doing a lot of heavy lifting not to have enough lift. They looking kind of regular. They're not looking like they used to be. And that $50 million you got invested in Michael Porter Jr. and 35-ish or whatever it is with Jamal Murray is a problem. That is, I don't think that works for them in the foreseeable future.
Aaron Gordon is the guy to go on that one.
I don't think so.
If it were me.
I don't know if for a year, $133 million. I mean, woo! 31 million next year, 34 the year after, 37 on a player option, 28, 29. Nasty work. He only be 33 though. He ain't really old. Oh, and yeah, he probably traded. Because this year it was only a $22 million cap hit. He gonna go up 10. But I still think that, Michael Porter Jr. $50 million is the problem. I don't know if he's that good.
He's not. I can tell you that. Not for 50. 50? Who's getting paid 50 right now? I can tell you.
No. Excuse me. He 35 million, 38 million, 40 million.
I don't think my answer changes. Who's worth $40 million right now that you would think? But Michael Porter Jr. is a spot up. Not spot up. He's a shooter.
But Michael Porter Jr., you could actually get out of the contract earlier, even though he's a little bit more expensive. He's like he's gonna be like $8 to $10 million, but you can get rid of him faster if you really wanted to.
Well, Michael Porter Jr., you are an Atlanta Hawk.
No, you probably go to the Blazers.
And get who? Anthony Simons? They would need a 3 back. Jeremy Grant.
No, I think sometimes some people just want space. Give me, especially with that second apron, let me get some of my money back and let me see if I can kind of piecemeal with some more. There's going to be an elite value on guys who are in that $20 million range right now. The Karis LeVerts of the world, who can go out and get you 15 points and not cost you an arm and a leg. Those guys are going to be valuable. That's the reason I like the George Niang, Terrence Mann. Those guys are going to be guys who we can trade. Outside of that, we're going to step away here for a brief intermission, and we're going to come back and talk about all things free agency. Buckle up, pull your drink, do whatever you need. It's going to be about 3 or 4 minutes, maybe 5. And when we come back, I don't know what time it is.
Hey, SplashCast fans, are you ready to take your obsession to the next level? Join the SplashCast community on Instagram and our own Facebook page for an immersive experience like never before. Get in on the action with lively discussions, fiery debates, and a community that's as passionate as you are. Our social media platforms are buzzing with the latest podcast news, exclusive updates, and behind-the-scenes sneak peeks. Don't miss out on the chance to connect with fellow SplashCast enthusiasts. Dive into the conversation, share your thoughts, and be part of something bigger. Find us on Instagram and Facebook, or go to www.splashcast.com to join now.
We can talk about the Midwest. We can knock out both of these two stupid teams together. First, there was a tweet that went out about the Bengals. If the Bengals acted when they were supposed to, they could have had Jesse Bates at $12 million a year, T. Higgins at $23 million a year, Jamar Chase at $35 million, and Trey Hendrickson at $25 million a year as well. The worst front office in NFL history. And that is their thing, is they don't like to pay people, and not paying people, them and the Cowboys, just ends up costing you more money and more embarrassment in the long run. I think that, me and Reggie have talked about the Bengals at length. They just refuse to get it together.
They about to pay Jamar Chase $37 million. That's the going rate for him right now, because Justin Jefferson is 35, and the GM has already come out and said for the Bengals, he's going to be the highest paid offensive non-QB, which is 36 to 37 million.
Irresponsible. I mean, they got the other guy retired. Trey Hendrickson is looking for a trade. They've fallen apart. They don't have.
And they need to trade T. Higgins. They need to trade him. But they also missed on. For now, we'll say they drafted really well, except for they missed on the T. Higgins replacement, which was supposed to be Jermaine Burton. Which is a bad character evaluator, because he was terrible. He was bad. He was bad at Georgia. Well, he was good at Georgia. Then he transferred to Alabama, which rubbed a lot of people the wrong way. And then because he didn't, and there's rumors that he had bad work ethic. And then everything that the rumors came out with, reared their ugly head this season. So it's like that's where he struck out.
I ain't gonna lie, I wouldn't mind a dice roll on Burton if we could get him on the cheap.
At his peak powers, he's a solid number 2. He's a great route runner.
The thing that I will say is, I think that they could still tag and trade T. Higgins, because there are so many receivers still available. They may not be T. Higgins, but you could get something kind of close. You could get a Chrysler 300 instead of a Phantom. It might not be exactly what you want, but sometimes.
Well, I'm glad you said that. It's interesting that all of these receivers are still on the board. I mean, you had Devontae Adams. He signed with the Rams, which is interesting because they're going to let go of Cooper Kupp, which means you could probably get Cooper Kupp on the cheap, which wouldn't be a bad pairing.
Where?
Cincinnati. Put him at the 2 with Jamar Chase. He's going to be a lot cheaper. He's going to be a lot cheaper than T. Higgins. Or you could get, there's Stephon Diggs. There's like
but those guys both came off tough injuries. It's going to be tough for them to. Diggs, that's an ACL injury, if I remember correctly.
Mm-hmm.
I don't love that. And Cooper Kupp, I would not be the first person to roll my dice on him after Sean McVay, unless you got a Sean McVay. Now, if it's Minnesota and like a wide receiver 3, great. He could be Adam Thielen again. He could be himself. But I'm not sitting. I'm not going.
Oh yeah, Stephon Diggs, Keenan Allen, Amari Cooper, Brandon Cooks, Deontay Johnson, Tyler Lockett, DeAndre Hopkins, Mike Williams, Robert Woods, Josh Reynolds, Devin Duvernay, Nelson Aguilar, Demarcus Robinson, Tyler Boyd, DJ Chark. You could sign people as a 2. All them. You could piecemeal. You could get Amari Cooper's 30. So is Calvin Ridley. Like you could sign Amari Cooper for a decent amount of money. Keenan Allen, he's 32.
But if you sign Amari Cooper, you got to do kind of like they did the Justin Fields contract and basically put all the money in the first year of the contract.
Yeah, Or you could. Deontay Johnson has played his way. He may play his way out of the league.
Oh, I'll take if the next step for him is out of the league, then I'll take him.
Yeah,
I'm taking all the people almost out of the league now. If the next step is retirement, hey, come on ATL, baby.
No, Cincinnati. We don't have the money, but Cincinnati could trade T. Higgins, get draft picks.
trade T. Higgins, get draft picks, and then sign Deontay Johnson, and then go draft a receiver. You could get Tech at that point.
I don't know if they're gonna give you that.
Why? They have we have the 15th. They have the 16th.
I guess.
But 18th pick plus
why
get you to the.
Why would you take Higgins instead of Tech?
Who? Higgins is proven. Higgins is proven.
Yeah, I'm not. I like Higgins, but Higgins is also going to be expensive. I can get Tech cheap, and yes, there's an unknown there, but there's a lot that's known too. He is big and strong and aggressive.
I'm saying you could move and sign one of these cheaper receivers and move, and you could then go get somebody else.
Baltimore, you back on the clock.
Why do you think that they're gonna do that?
Oh no, I know they're not. I'm just saying it because I know that they're gonna be stupid and not get it. They go. Hey, who? Nelson Aguilar. That's what I'm interested in. Let me get something I know ain't worth nothing.
Keenan Allen. Just go get Keenan Allen.
Also, speaking of stupid teams in the Midwest, the Cleveland Browns did something today that I surely did not expect, and I assume the rest of y'all didn't either. They signed Lil Ham Pickett.
Oh, that's what we're leading with.
Excuse me. They traded with Lil Ham. They traded for Lil Ham Pickett,
a 5th-round pick,
and DTR
for backup.
I don't understand what they're trying to do unless they're trying to get Myles Garrett to ask for a trade again. I can't imagine a quarterback room that has Freaky D and Lil Ham Pickett in it. There is nothing that tells me that this team is moving in the right direction again. There are now Gardner Minshew, I think, is better than Kenny Pickett. I think that Jameis better than Kenny Pickett.
Yeah.
I don't know what they're trying to do. I don't know that answer.
So I have a hypothesis, and this is strictly responding to Tremaine because he was so happy that they re-signed Myles Garrett. Why? First off, Myles Garrett, you look crazy.
No, you don't.
Winning is what you want to do, all of that stuff, and then they say, "Well, you don't look crazy. You can be bought." And they gave you 100.
No. He looked like, oh boy, who was the coach of the Pistons who did not want to coach the Pistons?
Monty Williams.
I don't want this job. Okay, we understand you might not want this job. Hey, we're going to pay you an unreasonable amount of money to do this job. I'll do this job.
Coach in the league. Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
But
same thing with Myles Garrett.
Then, hindsight, then the ploy was just to get paid. It was never about pinning a thing and going to win. And I don't want to go from Cleveland to Canton. I want to go to a Super Bowl. No, you don't. Or to me, when they said that Myles Garrett resigned, I was like, if it were me, I don't know if that changes anything. Because he signed as the highest paid defensive end or edge rusher. But now what was turning a lot of teams off was you had to resign him. Now he's under contract.
Right.
So now you can get King's ransom back from him for him and be able to still build around him or build around the team and let him go.
The reason that I don't really question his integrity is you also have to get your money when your money is available. Especially once you hit 30. It's like, okay, cool. I want this. Number one, Jimmy Haslam, for all intents and purposes, did not look like he was playing ball with him. He was not even willing to have a conversation with him. So
which makes me think he's still available. I think he's still available. I don't. They're not going to say
if he ain't available now, 12 months from now, he'll be available and he would have got his money versus I wait and then I fight. I sit out. All these other things happen. Suddenly, not necessarily Hassan Reddick, but kind of in that back and forth. Oh, this guy, does he still want it? All of these things. No, I got my money. Now I can do a year here, and then after that, I'm still gonna want my money. And I think that once you figure out something is inevitable, then you should just do it. That's the reason I'm saying just trade him. He don't fit on y'all timeline anyway. You're just doing this to do it versus saying, hey, I can trade him away. I can get a bunch of good assets, and I can draft Abdul Carter. And I'll sit Abdul Carter for the season if his foot is messed up. I don't care. I just need him to be healthy, and we not winning this year anyway.
And get off Deshaun Watson's contract. Like,
right.
That's why I think that they should trade him.
They're very similar to the Giants. You got to eventually cut bait with certain players and say, hey, man, best thing for me to do is just go in a different direction. Doubling down on dumb, I know I say it probably every podcast, it ain't worth it. All you do is get everybody fired, which is another part why they didn't want to get rid of him. I just thought about it. They don't like it. Once you get rid of him, then you might as well get rid of Stefanski. It's over. But I think that at the end of the season, that's what should have happened. The Giants should have fired their coach and GM. Cleveland should have fired their coach and GM, because all that's going to happen is you're going to wait one season and do the same thing. And then whatever quarterback you got, he's going to have to learn a new system.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, we come to the end of episode 181 of the SplashCast Monday Night Raw. We appreciate y'all for tuning in, staying vigilant with us while it turns out that my computer cycled, which is why everything got cut off. I did not turn off the automatic update for the drivers. I apologize for that. With that being said, Nord, if we ain't miss anything, take us out.
Ladies and gentlemen, this has been a fantastic show. Thank you guys as y'all continue through this journey. Once again, I'm so proud of what this new car looks like. It got the new car smell, all the bells and whistles. Y'all look at the little sticker goes by. Always remember, like, follow, subscribe. Thank you guys, going on this journey as we continue to give you a better and better product every week. Number one, more Black baseball. Also send up a prayer for Profar with a bone bruise in his wrist, diving for a spring training ball. Does look like he'll be ready for opening for the season opener, which is great news. Number two, more Black Cowboys and Cowgirls. That is a definitely call back from PV and TSU performing at the rodeo earlier last week. And number 3, the historically Black college university in your neighborhood. No, excuse me, the one your cousin used to kiki, went to, the one that you used to sit in the back of the church, and that person, send some money to that historically Black college university. Number 2, the historically Black college in your neighborhood, the one that you go to, step shows, homecomings, vibes, whatever it may be, just to be around your people. Please send some money over there. And then finally, the greatest learning institution in all the world, the Hampton University. All we asking for is $18.68 on behalf of the year that the university was founded. Outside of that, my friend Reggie, do you have anything else?
Hell no.
All right. With that being said, adios, mi amigos. God is love. Arrivederci. And until we meet again, y'all be safe. We love you. We are out of here.
Peace. Love y'all.
The show is produced by Creative Logic Solutions. Whether the project is big or small, let Creative Logic Solutions help bring your vision to life. Catch our latest episodes and stay updated with the world of sports by tuning in to the podcast live on Mondays, or catch the re-air on Dive Team Media Network, where you can also check out other Dive Team Media content as well. For collaboration, booking information, or any other inquiries, visit our website at www.thesplashcast.com. Every listen, share, and review is appreciated. Until next time.
Like, follow, subscribe. Thank you, my friend. Be in for it.